Hi guys, how are you? Right, today I'm going to show you how to make Southern African biltong. This is the particular box that you're actually going to need. I've used duct tape, these little vents there, and it's basically just purely to prevent little beasties from getting inside. The box itself is 65 centimeters in height, 45 centimeters width, 30 centimeters deep. On the top there I actually have a computer fan, which is then wired into the main using an adapter. Make sure you have an adapter, otherwise you will blow something up. Inside the box itself, just put this here for a second. You have, there's your fan up the top and a hole. You have two lots of dowling in which you're going to actually put meat, or we're going to put meat. There are two air vents at the back as well with exactly the same kind of gauze. A standard light bulb, 80 watt, and my cowl, which basically prevents blood etc. from dripping into the mains power, is a beer can. This is from a reclaimed desk and has been planed on the inside. Wipe down with Dettol, and I suggest you do that every single time you use the box. Okay, now let's get on to the meat stage. Your shopping list needs to contain Irish beef, sirloin steaks. You can use rump. These are in Tesco's, 2 for a fiver, and you're looking 513 grams. I have 3 packets there. Coriander seeds. Okay, you need the seeds themselves. I got these for Holland and Barrett. Some Demira sugar. Some coarse sea salt. Some soy sauce. Leon Perrin's Worcester sauce. Some malt vinegar. Okay, that's just from Tesco's. Make sure it's malt, it has to be malt vinegar. Now, in your peppers, if you like peri peri or you like chili, also get that, alright? It'll add a nice taste. It depends on your individual taste. The biltong I'm going to do today is 100% the standard recipe. Alright, let's begin. Okay, I've cut my steaks. I just cut them into 3 pieces, some into 2, just depends on I suppose the size of the steaks. Now the first thing we do is we just put a little bit of salt on the bottom and here, and all we're going to do is we're just going to stack the meat one by one. Now this is wide enough. Good piece there, piece there, and a piece there. Okay, and we just carry on stacking them. I do make some different sizes. Reason being is some will actually dry quicker than others, so at least you don't have to wait for the full 4 or 5 days, and you'll be able to taste your product, and that's always the best part of things. This particular process, you will leave it the salt on for 15 minutes only, and then we'll actually wipe it off, and I'll show you guys that. You don't rinse it, never wash the salt off, okay? You just wipe it off with your fingers. I've seen this meat for sale in Tesco's, and there's a couple of others companies in Ireland that are actually now selling this product. If you're a GAA player, rugby player, football, weight lifter, anyone that needs protein, I suppose this would be your fix. It's an awesome TV snack as well. Okay, so Well, that's salting, and we're waiting for the 15 minutes, sorry. The next bit is to make our vinegar bath. So what was it of vinegar on the bottom? We'll be dipping the meat in this after it's salted for 15 minutes. Just turn on the oven so I have a timer. Bit of soy sauce, not too much, it makes it super hot, gives it a bit of a kick. Bit of lemon parings in there. Soy sauce is really the key. Okay, and now that's done, already and waiting. So what we can do now is we can actually do the pepper and our spice mix. Right, another thing I actually forgot to mention is you want to get yourself some black peppercorns as well, as that forms part of our spice mix. Okay, what you're going to do is you're just going to put a bit in there. It'll do it. That little grinder, it's a coffee grinder, pepper spice grinder. Awesome little thing. Got it on Amazon. It's only a single speed, so you know it would be great if you could actually have a dual speed. That'll be enough. Now I've got the little frying pan here. I'll put that on. And I'm going to put some coriander seeds. I know it's in a different packet. This is the packet I had left over. I got it at an Indian shop in Galway. And I'm just going to put the coriander seeds in here. I'm going to kind of brown them off a little bit, you know, just to bring out the taste a bit. You don't want to cook them, you don't want to burn them. You just want them kind of browning off a little bit. The other thing we will do is when we go to hang the meat, my advice to you is I don't use meat hooks or anything like that. I use paper clips, but when I go to use the paper clips I put them in boiling hot water, sterilize them, and I'll show you that later on when we actually go to hang the meat. In the meantime we'll just cook this stuff up, and once it's kind of been on the cook for a little while, what we'll do is we'll just put that in the grinder, and that forms the basis of the spice. Okay. Now it's just a case of waiting. It actually smells beautiful. It's the one thing that gives Biltong its unique taste. Flavorings is coriander seeds. And by doing this, you kind of brown them off and really open up the spice and the smell of it. It gives it a very distinct flavour. Once you've got your pepper ground down, and we'll all grind this down as well, once it's kind of cooked, we'll be putting 1 teaspoon of demerara sugar in with this. And that just kind of balances out all the salt and the vinegar and everything like that. So I'll do that so I don't forget. The little grinder I got that, as I said, I got it on Amazon, and I think it was about €26. It's not bad. The only thing, as it says, as I said, just 1 teaspoon. The only problem with it is that you can't take out the insert. It's kind of, you're dropping it straight into the machine. So when it comes to washing, if you wanted to use it for something else, you can't. It'll leave one hell of a taste if you start putting coffee in there, that's for sure. These guys are beginning to hook. You might be able to see the smoke there. That's fine. That's exactly what we want. It's mushy, man. Just put it on the high heat and we do this for a little while. Really is enough. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to stick it in the grinder. This is kind of the hardest bit, getting from the fry pan into the grinder, because the grinder top is so hot, so small. Bit patience, and it's no bother. And here we go. Take this off. Now I'll show you the spices there. That's not too bad. That's just about right. It's not too coarse, but it's not too broken up or fine as well. So what we'll do is take this guy, we'll chop all the stuff in here. Now the brand of this particular grinder is Kitchen Perfected. So the beauty about this is the grinder actually won't turn on unless the lid is on. So it's pretty good safety feature as well. Trust me, I've tried it and it does work. So we'll move back onto the meat. So now 15 minutes passed, and let's move this over here so I don't get. I'm going to take the meat, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush off the salt. Okay, as I said, don't wash it off. Just use your hands to physically remove the meat, the salt. And you do with this every single piece. Keep the fat on. Some people seem to like the fat. Once it's actually dry and it's fully made into biltong, it'll just peel right off anyway. So a little broken piece here. I probably will keep it attached if I can, because that little bit will be able to take off after 3 days and be able to taste it. Alright, so I'll carry on doing this, and then we'll we'll come back for the next process. It takes probably about 5 minutes to clear all the salt off. If you like it salty, you can leave the salt on for a bit longer, but just make sure you take off the excess. Okay, so now we're back. I have boiled the kettle, and I have some ordinary size, well, they're actually larger than normal size paper clips. Alright, so we're going to sterilize those, so we'll chuck those into a cup, put boiling water into it, and we just let them sit for a while. Now while that's happily over there sterilizing, here's our meat. Remember our vinegar bath that we made? So you take your meat, alright, a little bit over here, and you just dip it, pick it up, flip it either side, and that's it. Just leave it there. And you continually do that to every single one of them. Okay? They all have to go through the vinegar bath. Both sides. I wouldn't marinate it, I wouldn't leave it in overnight. It kind of leaves a weird metallic-y kind of, well, lousy taste on the meat. It just doesn't kind of taste normal. So I know in some videos you'll see on YouTube they do saying, oh, marinate it overnight. Personally, I don't like it. It just makes it too bitter. But I mean, with experimentation, you might like it that way. It's entirely up to you. It really is your food that you're making. This will give you the basis of what to do, and in the correct order. And then after this, there's only one final step, and that's applying the pepper. And then we're ready to hang it. And we'll close the box up, and we'll pretty much leave it there for, I suppose, we'll open it in about 3 days time and see how it is. The bigger pieces, it's definitely going to take 4 days, 4 full, 24-hour days, unless you like it soft in the center. I would probably look at it 3.5 days, and then I'll probably take a piece. If it's a little bit too red in the center, I'll get a knife, just cut a piece up, hang it back up, close it all up, close the box back up, and then come back to it. So that's that done. And put this over here. Clean plate. And that's it. We're on the final home straight now. So here's the peppers that we made. And all you do, put a shed load on the actual plate. We're going to have probably 3 rows. We've got loads in here as well, so you don't have to hold back on the amount of spice you use. Lay that out. There will be excess vinegar on your plate. You can pour it out if you want. And that's it. All you do is you put pepper right away over it. And exactly like when we salted, we're just going to put one piece on top of the other. Okay, sure, put that in, it's just hanging around there. Don't reuse the pepper, especially because you're touching raw meat. Just dump the whole lot of it. It's cheap enough to make. So I would be too stingy on it. what this will do, it'll pretty much dry it out. Another piece there. You don't have to fully cover it, you know. Don't worry about that. It's not gonna change anything. You'll find the meat's wet enough and the spices will actually absorb into the meat as it dries. I think there's a place in Kildare that sell this. They're beef people. And they do manufacture their own biltong in Ireland. You also find it in Tesco's every once in a while. I believe there's also people down Wexford, Waterford way that they're local butchers from Southern Africa, or I think possibly Zimbabwe. They make this stuff and sell it as well. This is for home use only. Obviously you can't sell this biltong. You haven't got the correct accreditation by the relevant bodies, so I wouldn't try and sell it. Right, and that's that. That's all good to go. So, oh man, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be mush. So, we'll move on to the next stage, which is hanging the meat. Okay, so now we're ready to roll. The easiest way to do it is put the meat on a plate at the bottom of the box. The other thing I suggest as well is you put tin foil in the bottom of the box, okay? That way it catches any muck that's falling down from the meat. As far as the paper clip is concerned, if you just fold it out, okay, that's absolutely awesome. You can do whatever way you want. Okay, hang maybe the bigger side over the dowling. It's entirely up to you. Insofar as the meat, when you grab a bit of the meat, I would hook it sideways in, okay? That way the profile, when you actually put it in the box, it'll sit in there nice and flat. You don't want the meat touching each other. You want a space. That way the air that's coming into the box is constantly circulating the meat and in turn drying it. The other thing you will find is that a kg of steak will disappear into approximately 500 grams of meat over the course of this. So it does dehydrate considerably. Also the paper clips, as I did earlier, I sterilized them and then I just dried them a little bit on a paper towel. And that's really it. You now have biltong. Well, almost. Don't forget guys, after you use the boxes, do wipe them down. You know, dealing with the raw meat here. Okay. Oh dear, it broke. So bacteria is always present. Okay, so I'll carry on doing this and then I'll just take a little clip before we close up. Right, so it's all hung, all ready to go. And now I just put the lid on the front, and then what I do as well is I actually put a bit of a masking tape around the outside of it just to fully seal it, and that's it. 5 days time, 4 days time, we'll actually check back in 3, could be 4, it just depends. Sometimes some batches, you know, it's good thick meat in there, so it might take a while longer. Alright, and we'll leave it there and we'll come back and see the end product. Alright guys, see you in a few days. Hey guys, welcome back. I couldn't wait like a big child that I am, and so I have opened the box and I've taken a piece out after 2 days. So here we go. So with kernels, etc. Don't eat them, okay? They won't do any harm, but if they get stuck in between your teeth, you could crack a tooth or something nasty like that. So just don't eat them. Now, rub them all off with your hands, get rid of the whole lot. And we'll put this over here for the time being. Nice sharp knife here, and we'll cut straight into this guy. As you can see, oh, there you go. It is done. You can actually eat it. That was 2 days. It is a little bit soft. Okay, if you don't like it that soft, that's not a problem. My dad never liked it that soft. You can actually leave it for, I don't know, give it another 24 hours even. The piece isn't that thick. I do have thicker pieces in there. So, you know, if you want to leave it for even for a day, day and a half to 2 days more. So that would take you to the 4 days. Okay, for good thick pieces. And that is really it. If you have a meat slicer, you've got an added bonus. You can take it down to nice little slivers, and they're absolutely beautiful. You know, even Gran and Granddad can actually have a bit of them, especially if they've got the old false teeth. Alright guys, I'm going to carry on munching, and I hope you enjoy the video. If it's been of use, please subscribe. Any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be willing to help you. And all the best. I hope you enjoy your biltong. Bye bye now.